I'm here with Christian, Anusha, and Gilbert. We are in the Solano TV studio, and today we have a topic of great importance. You, as the audience, might have seen it a couple times on your feeds or in TV advertisements. We are talking about artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to look into how we see it in our day-to-day lives, how it impacts us in our education as students, and finally, what we think it'll look like in the future. I'm going to start off with a very basic question, everyone. How do you see AI in your day-to-day lives?
I think we use AI without even realizing it. Since the time we wake up, like we unlock our phones with the face recognition, and we also use it for voice assistant on ChatGPT or sometimes Google Assistant, checking up the weathers. And also, like, since I am very active on social media, I use TikTok and Instagram a lot. So I've realized the moment I'm scrolling the phone, if I'm watching the dance content, like afterwards there is only the dance content that's coming on my feed. Same with the Instagram reels. If I'm sad sometimes, if I'm liking the sad reels, it just popping up all of the sad reels. So it's a part of AI too. If you everyone's used, like most of the people, they use AI in today's generations, like social media. So of course there is already an AI in the social medias for any, like most of the platforms, I would say.
I mean, even including things like Netflix, right? They always have some sort of recommendation based on previous things you've watched or maybe possible genres you've selected, you know? I mean, like I watch an anime or something and then all of a sudden it puts something very similar to it. I mean, it helps, but at the same time, like, to what end is our privacy being kept in our house, you know?
It's true. I understand that, yeah.
I feel like AI voice scams are becoming they're rising up. According to Richard Polina, an October 2024 article in California Post, a California senior citizen was scammed out of 25k USD because there's an AI voice of his son asking for bail money.
I have seen videos like that where the older generations kind of fall for the AI scams. I've seen people record hey, I've gotten this voicemail of my uncle needing money, but I called him and he's perfectly fine sitting at home. And it's just so scary how people are mimicking voices with AI in order to trick older people. Like my mother, she'll send me a video of a cat riding a bear that's shown to be recorded on a Ring camera. And in my head I'm like, Mom, this is obviously fake. There's no way that this bear and this cat would be so chill with each other to ride on their back. You know, my mom's like, oh, look at this cute video, it's adorable. I'm like, Mom, no, you know?
So coming to that, according to New York Times newspaper by Brian Chen X, that was published on January 12th on 2023, it's so the AI, the algorithm just recommend the certain videos. That's what that is what just I talked about earlier, your mom's talking about your mom's, the AI contents. The more we watch it, the more it's gonna pop up. That's what he says, it shapes our daily digital habits.
Yeah, and I've noticed that, like you said, if I'm kind of in a bad mood and I like all the sad TikToks,
Yeah.
I wake up the next morning and I'm like, why is this so depressing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Or if I'm looking at dance videos, I used to be a dancer, so I reminisce
That's
and
so
watch.
cool.
Thank you. I reminisce and watch other people and their choreography, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. But then the next 20 videos is just dancing content. I'm like, what about, I also like hiking and art, and what about these other things? Same thing with the music and the Netflix specifically. It's hard to look for new content when it's constantly feeding you the same stuff over and over again, which in some cases help because you want to view what you like.
Yeah.
But it's hard to create a rounded kind of character when all you're being fed is a specific kind of content.
also like coming to that point. So it also recommends like have you guys ever realized that the Netflix like recommend us? It just like makes our feed like personalized. The kind of movie that we are watching, it shows of similar kind of movies. Like it makes our like choices more personalized. Have you guys ever noticed?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, I don't know if you guys do like the Netflix plan where you're allowed to have multiple profiles, right? And each one tends to have different options that it gives you. Just, I mean, like I could click on the one that my parents use, and there's more mature content.
True.
I understand, yeah. Because, like, my brother, he watches a lot of cartoons. He watches Sonic. He watches anime. I watch anime, but a different kind. And so I notice when I go on his Netflix versus mine, it's completely customized. It's almost a reflection of yourself, how you can see what you like versus what somebody else likes. And I liked how you pointed out kind of that privacy of they can guess so much of my character that how much of me is private at this point. And going back to like the voice recognition and the face ID, they have a lot more information and we kind of give it to them a lot more than we realize. And to your point, security is like, how safe are we going to be in the future when they can mimic voices, when they can track our faces? So that's kind of like a scary thing to think about.
You know, I read an academic article from Future Internet by Emilio Ferrara in February 2026. And for them, what they found to be probably the most dangerous aspect of AI currently is the fact that it could create a synthetic reality instead of synthetic media. I mean, with AI nowadays, you could pretty much create any context you want, and it would look just as real as any piece of evidence in news.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the difference between synthetic reality and media?
Okay, well, by synthetic reality, I guess some of you would think of The Matrix, because that's probably like a simulation, right?
Yeah.
Of the real world, so fits the definition of synthetic reality. But by synthetic reality, I mean, for some people, what you view is what you know of the world, right? So AI would be able to create things like, I don't know, presidential election speeches, right? And you'd look at it and you say, okay, so this person said being gay is bad, right?
So there's like
Or
misinformation, possibly.
misinformation, disinformation, they could honestly be defined as both. I mean, if you look at Kamala Harris, when she was running for presidency, someone posted I'm not sure if it was a meme, but eventually it came out to be, I mean, it didn't have the meme tag to it, right? People would just repost it everywhere online, and then eventually people took it as the real thing. However, it was based on a real life event, and people that watched it knew that it wasn't what she said at all.
To piggyback off of that, I have two instances that came to mind. First off, with the things happening, I want to say in Mississippi, with Renee Good, people would make AI videos of like her hitting the ICE agent that weren't true. If you go and you look back at the original footage, it's completely different than the AI that people make, and they're purposely taking out those like watermarks that you see with like Sora AI and stuff like that. And I thought that was really scary because it looks real. Like it's gotten to the point where AI looks real. And another thing that I thought of was the White House videos. If any of you guys have seen that, where the White House will post like AI videos of them dropping like, you know,
Drones.
no, it wasn't dropping drones. It was dropping like feces out of jets onto individuals, and it's like you can tell it's AI. It's obviously AI, but it's scary to think of how real we've seen AI and how our politicians or our like government could persuade us as people, us as citizens who look to the government as like a informative kind of thing, and how persuaded we could be if they decide to really use it as a propaganda kind of thing. Um, yeah, that's just what
I mean,
you said brought up in my head.
Like, yeah, I mean, let's say it starts off as something like a meme, right? A parody, where it's making fun of someone. And then all of a sudden, you have maybe possible bots that are using AI with the same level of AI intelligence as a human. And now they're manipulating something that's misinformation, turning it into disinformation, and you wouldn't know.
Yeah, coming to your like what you said, so I realized like most of the contents, like some of the contents we recognize this is AI, but some of them we can't, and it is very scary. Recently I've watched a video in TikTok where a girl was dancing to a trending song, and like it went viral, and when I checked her profile, she was a non-dancer. I don't know how she did it, but she was like, she just put like her picture, I guess, and then the trending videos, and she was dancing, and like later I could realize in the video, like at some point, okay, this could be AI, but it was very like we wouldn't know, like
Yeah, like
it is scary. It looks real.
So at like a first glance, without doing the backup research kind
Yeah.
of thing, yeah, I think that's really hard because a lot of people, with how fast paced our media is, we only have a few seconds to look at something and we move to the next, and we take that as our truth without noticing little like red
Yeah.
flags. We're like, oh, that doesn't look right, and that causes us to do backup research because we just don't have the time in our day-to-day lives to do that anymore. Speaking of time being kind of controlled, I want to talk about how we as students, because we're all college students, see AI in an academic setting. Have we used AI before? Do we see teachers using AI? That kind of thing.
I feel like teachers there's, don't trust students as much today because of AI. And I've seen like students use AI to like commit crimes. According to Dan Neffin, March 2026 article, two former Lancaster Country Day students created nude images of 59, admitted to creating nude images of their peers in juvenile court. So AI can be used to like commit crimes.
Like AI student help or harm, like the topic, I would have wanted to add like student these days use AI for their homeworks assignments, because like when it's squeezed in like tight time, like tight time schedule, like they are like they have so many subjects. Like for example, when I first arrived in US, and like I came to when I was in this college on my first semester, I was taking like 5 subjects in the beginning. It was kind of hard for me, and the AI was kind of like I didn't never use it before, like AI on my homeworks, but after I came here, the assignments were completely different for me. The way I used to study there and the way it is like how we are like taught are different. The homework assignment that we have to do it in a different way. So I did use AI in the beginning for my essay assignments, things, and my psychology assignments. At that time, so like just to squeeze in, like just to get through the situations, I just use it.
I have a few questions. Is homework harder between like the United States and Nepal, or?
It's not harder. Like I wouldn't say like it's harder, but it was different. So there we are still kind of old school. Like we don't use laptop. Like because I was in high school, so like we still used to with the like read with the books and like point out our notes and everything. But here the assignments, like okay, there is like a Canvas thing, we have to like go into that, register the classes first, and then like yeah, do the homework assignments, where to go, okay, check our grades from that side. Like everything was new, the system was new, and even the assignments I wasn't really like familiar with. So at that time, I did like took help from AI.
So it wasn't necessarily harder work. Did you have like a longer time to do the work because you had to read the book and you had to like write it out?
I would say that too, because even like if I have to read an article like for the citation, like I would have to spend a lot of time. But if I put it into AI and then like ask like it to summarize it, it'll just like do it in a quick way, and then you would get all of the contents like with like in a few minutes.
See, I mean, me as a STEM major, right? I'm going into chemical engineering, so for me, I'd say the big pro and con for artificial intelligence is that for students, this thing is a shortcut. Now, the pro is obviously, as we've stated before, that it can shorten the time you need to complete an assignment. I mean, the thing can help you brainstorm faster than you would normally
Yeah.
if you were alone.
Have you used AI in any of your assignments?
I use Grammarly. Grammarly started as like a grammar checker, but then now it starts. You can write like, you can ask it to write a paragraph in like a professional way, and teachers used to like recommend Grammarly, but now they don't recommend it as much.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I haven't used Grammarly like as of recently, so I didn't know that they could like write whole paragraphs for you, but I did, and I think I do use checkers to see if I, mess up with my grammar. English is like a subject; it's not my best subject, so I have a bit of a difficult time making things. It sounds like it flows in my head, but when I read it out loud, or when someone else reads it, they're like, "This doesn't quite make sense." So it's very nice to have something check that for you. I have read an article from Gabriel Petra of last year, and it was it was a case study, and he was looking at the effects of AI within students and stuff like that. And at the very end, he concluded, yes, if you're dependent on it to write your essays, to shortcut through all of your quizzes, you are losing a critical function in your brain, critical thinking. You're losing the ability to push yourself through problems. But if you use it to specify your learning, to make it individualistic to you, to make it more understandable, to help brainstorm ideas, to make what you're learning adapt to how your brain works, it could be an incredible tool. And I didn't realize that before reading the article, because he makes a good point. If you have, I'm a very hands-on learner. I love getting my hands dirty. I love seeing and being able to hold whatever I'm working on. So having a personalized kind of academic path definitely would have helped me more, especially in the younger years where you're kind of like first introduced to here's how you do things academically. So I just thought it was very interesting how it's such a thin line between helpful and harmful.
Yeah, I've read an article as well that was published by Time Magazine on February 16, 2023 by Andrew R. Chow. So he said like educators are like debating like saying that there are like students like increasingly using AI on their studies, and they were kind of worried like how they can make student and like AI go hand in hand, so that like they would have like honesty like while studying things.
Part of the shortcut, right, is you might end up depending on it. I mean, we're using it to complement for our lack of skill, right? And like, for example, critical thinking, which is one of our most important skills to learn in school. And develop, right? It's one of the two things they look for when you apply for a job, right? Can you solve through your problems?
Mm-hmm.
Part of using AI is you're kind of just depending on it to do it for you. And as an article from the South Carolina website by Sabrina Habib in February 5th of 2024 argues, it encourages reliance on technology while reducing confidence in their own ideas. In other words, it's kind of just making you more useless.
Yeah, I want to touch back on what you said, Christian, about how teachers are also using AI. I've noticed that and how they're becoming stricter, obviously, with their grading. I have some teachers that are using this program or this, I guess, extension on Chrome that's called Honor Lock. I don't know if any of you guys
I
have.
think I use that.
Yeah, my teacher uses Honor Lock where it records you and it records your screen, and it times like how long you pause, and it notes that if you move to a different screen, and it feels so invasive sitting on my bed having my face recorded in my pajamas, you know. And I understand they're like, oh, we don't want you using phones, we don't want you using tablets to do your quizzes, but like, my hair's a mess. I'm laying on my bed trying to get this assignment done right before it's due at 11:59. I don't want to have, you know, I don't even know if teachers look at that. I really don't. But if they do, and they see like I said, just me eating a bag of chips while doing my assignment. And I also know that teachers use Turnitin for essays. I don't know if you guys have used Turnitin at all.
It started as like a plagiarism checker. Now it checks AI if the student has like any
That's
AI.
nice.
I think it's nice. I remember my teachers would use it as a plagiarism thing where it's like how similar is my essay from like my friend's essay, and if it's like a 50 something, then you obviously know that you copied and pasted. But I didn't know that they moved on to an AI feature, and I think it's really hard. I second guess a lot of my writing now because I'm scared that because I can sound professional in my writing, that because I sound professional, that it mistakes the identifier mistakes it as, oh, you're using AI. Why do you sound like that? So I'm always fearful whenever I turn stuff in that the teacher's gonna give me a 0 and be like, hey, I know you used AI, and I'm like, no, I didn't. I don't know how to explain it to you, but I didn't. I don't know if you guys have that secondhand
I mean, yeah.
kind of step.
Definitely. I mean, using AI, right, to help you write essays, and then you kind of look at how it's writing, and similar to when you read books, watching movies, right? Those experiences make who you are. They build your voice, right? You as a person. But by using AI, you're kind of just becoming the same thing as AI. You lose your voice.
With that being said, I kind of want to focus our next topic on how we think AI is going to impact our future. We've kind of talked about already how we see it in our social media feeds and how people are utilizing it for our assignments and how teachers might be using it too. So I'm just curious, what do you guys think it's going to look like in the future?
AI has already taken some jobs because Amazon, they use Rufus. It's like an AI for customer service. So there's less people on the phone talking with someone because of Rufus.
I mean, one of the big fears of AI is that it will become so advanced that it will replace us eventually, right? I mean, unlike us, it can learn 24/7, and as the years go by, right, newer models are probably going to be made, and if we ever get to that point, right, and we are able to create quantum computing, like where's the limit on it?
Yeah.
So, according to World Economic Forum, that was published by Sadia Jahidi magazine on May 1st, 2023. So, the AI obviously, it is going to replace some of the jobs that are repetitive where repetitive tasks are done, just like you said, the Amazon thing, or in some kind of factory. But there's it'll still open open the platform for the humans with that requires the human skills, like sometimes you like at some places you need like communications.
Mhm.
I would say empathy, the human skill that like those. I think those are the things that AI can't replace it, like even in the future.
Yeah, I know that there are some AIs that have started incorporating like breath into their responses. Usually, when you, in the past, when you listen to AI, it's very robot, very monotone. But they started having tone. They start sighing. They start having breaths in and
Oh,
out. That
really?
I've seen videos of this guy on TikTok who literally just tests the AI.
What?
And it's like, why? He'll ask, why are you taking a breath, or why are you like pushing air when you're using pee? And the AI is like, I'm just trying to sound more like
Human?
you. And I'm like, this is terrifying.
That's so scary.
And it reminded me of a movie I watched called Her. It's a great movie. I highly recommend everyone here watches Her.
That's her. It's her.
No, it's called Her.
Her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it came out 2016? I'm not quite sure about the date. But it was this guy who fell in love with an AI. And at the time, the AI is voiced by a human voice actor, obviously, so she has those tones and stuff like that. So like halfway throughout the movie, you almost kind of forget that she's an AI. But back then, it's like, oh, that's just in the future. That's not gonna happen. But now I'm seeing it happen. Like, oh gosh, guys, like, what are we gonna do? This is terrifying.
It is.
I mean, an article from the Harvard Gazette by Christian Passanese from October 12, 2023 argues that AI is advancing faster than we are prepared for in terms of our workforce, national security even. I mean, like, we've already talked about this before in our first segment. I mean, like, they could use this as propaganda, and I mean, you could fool a lot of people.
Yeah.
And especially cybersecurity, right? Like, you're making something so advanced that you're gonna have to have a better AI to be able to you.
Going back to what you were saying about jobs and what you were saying about mundane tasks, is my ideal thought of like AI taking jobs. If it's the mundane stuff, if it's the repetitive stuff that might negatively affect someone's mental health, doing the same thing every day over and over again, that's not good for you.
Yeah.
So having an AI do that seems like it would help, but we need to change. I feel like we need to change our system. I believe humans are very creative beings. Like you said, empathy. We could make things out of like thin air.
Critical thinking.
Yeah, and I think that if we do have AI kind of take those mundane jobs, it's important that we have a way for humans to exist without needing money, because that's what it boils down to. Because if AI takes a job at McDonald's, then that's one less young adult who's trying to get a job to make money to survive. But if an AI is doing that job and humans have a different course that goes into their interests, if someone likes making like wielding art, like metal and making art out of it, there's a path that they can take that's just as sustainable. Because my fear is that if AI takes all the jobs, we as humans with our society still need money to like survive, to feel comfortable. So not having that like outlet to get money to survive is very like scary. So we need to completely change how we live and how we run things if we're gonna allow AI to take these jobs.
No, I mean, oftentimes, like, when I was going through this research, like, all of a sudden the movie came to mind, I mean, it doesn't really show much of AI, but then you look at the plot and you see that human civilization was basically run by one AI who's commanding them. They had no control over, I mean, they were under the illusion, a synthetic
Totally.
reality,
Yeah.
that they were in control. So now the big question is, as we advance further into the question, right? How much are humans worth? I mean, we are organic machines, and here we're making machines that are autonomous, can work 24/7 as long as they have power running through them. They're getting better. And whoever owns the AI, most likely probably, if they want to, would be able to rule the world without us even knowing, as we live under the illusion that we're in control.
Yeah, that's really scary to think about how little control we're starting to lose that we don't even realize. How do you think AI is going to affect the future in your life experiences?
For like AI data centers, I was like watching a video about like a woman that like rejected a 22 million offer to build a data center on their land. Basically, the data center AI company that was building the data center, they said they're gonna create jobs when they build the data center.
It's just like that's for sure, because now that the use of AI has been like so increasing, like like day by day, obviously our future is gonna be like mostly depend on the AI, like if we like it or not. That is the truth, right? So I think like in the future, so right now we are skilled and everything, I think like using AI is not a bad thing, but you should know like until what extent. So in future, to like secure our jobs and things, I think we should learn how to use AI, but we should not fully depend on it.
Yeah.
Like we should have that skill to use AI positively.
Speaking, sorry, of AI positively, to kind of play like a devil's advocate here, I saw a research study it was published January 4th of last year by the Science Direct team, and they were talking about AI in healthcare. Going back to what I was saying earlier about specialized learning for certain students, they have specialized medication, because one of the biggest struggles is that our medication has to be so generalized. So if you have XYZ symptoms, we're going to give you medicine that we've given other people that works with XYZ, but what you have might be something completely different. So AI being able to kind of scan your genetics and your body and give you the best medication for you specifically could help a ton of people that struggle with needing special treatments and medications like that. Other hand, it's like I said, they're scanning your genetics and your features, just all of your history, in order to personalize. But with them having that information, what else could they do with it? And that's kind of the slippery where I am aware that the healthcare industry is in. Where it's like, yes, having individualized medicine would work.
Yeah.
There's people who go through months of just trying different
Figure it
things,
out,
and they can't seem to hit the mark on what's wrong with them, and it causes a lot of stress. Able to eliminate all of that wait time and that trial and error, with just, this is what works with you, this is what we're going to prescribe you. That's wonderful, but just like what can be done with our genetic information if they decide to sell it for a lot of money to somebody else? And like you said, at some point down a dangerous slope, we're going to lose our identity and our strength as a human to somebody who's controlling these AIs and has our information, has our face, has all of these things that make us us. So yeah, I see the benefits of like, individualized, things work faster, you can brainstorm a little bit easier, but also at what cost and how bad can and will it get in the future?
I mean,
Yeah.
but like, we can't stop, I mean, it's similar to nuclear weapons. When we made it, everyone else had to have their own weapon. That way, if we launched it, they could launch it back to us. Similarly, AI is pretty much, it could be a weapon. And we can't necessarily stop developing AI unless everyone else stops developing AI as well.
Yeah,
And
sorry.
what it comes down to is, I mean, currently we still have power. We still have a voice. And as politics is defined as, we decide who gets what. And we can still decide to completely abandon AI. But the question is,
that is a wonderful ending point and a really impactful message that I think we can all agree. You know, we all agree with your statement. I think we can end on. This is a podcast on artificial intelligence. We went over generally how we see AI in our day-to-day lives, how we have used it and how we've seen it used in our education system, and finally our own thoughts of how it will affect our future. I am your host, Jess. I'm here with Christian, Anusha, and Gelbert, and thank you for coming to our podcast.
If you are interested in a career in sports broadcasting,
whether you're commentating a live game
or hosting your own TV show,
for more information, contact Greg Poff. That's me at solano.edu.
we hope to see you here next semester. And remember,
It's more than just sports, it's an education.